Who made the biggest drug lord in the world the authority of drugs? Why is it okay to take Zoloft, Prozac, and Adderall, but it is not okay to take methylene dioxide-methamphetamines or dextromethorphan? It's often found in cold medicines. What is methylene dioxide-methamphetamines? The street name for it is ecstasy. True or false, do doctors typically prescribe methylene dioxide-methamphetamines to patients? Of course, I've given you the street name for the drug. In that case, no, doctors do not prescribe it to patients. One of the common side effects of ecstasy is empathic feelings, lowered inhibition, anxiety, chills, sweating. Sound familiar? Sound like any other drugs that you might know of? By the way, side effects are discovered by patients and being tested. Because what happens is the doctors will prescribe drugs to patients, then they'll come back later and say, take this certain amount of dosage and come back in 2 weeks and let me know how it goes. So then they say they're sweating or they experience chills. So that's how side effects work in drugs. There are often drugs being put on the market from the pharmaceutical industry that it has to be recalled because they found they kill people. Throughout history, though, however, drugs were somewhat different. They used herbs and remedies, like in China especially. In 2014, I experienced a dislocated shoulder, and it hurt. And so I was going to piano lessons, and I fell face first on the pavement because I was on a skateboard. And of course, it has been a decade since I was on a skateboard, and it was just a crack that I met my demise, and I hit my just face first, and then I got up, and it was very painful. So I thought it was just pain, and it would go away in a little while. And I went to my apartment, which was just right across the street from where I fell down, and then I quickly learned that it wasn't going away. And it only took me a couple of minutes to realize that, because who's the expert on our bodies? We are. The authorities on our bodies, we are. So then I just got my keys, I locked my apartment, I got my car, kind of calmly just went to the ER at St. Francis Hospital. But I didn't actually go to the ER, and the place was closed because it was on the weekend and in the evening. So I had to find somebody. The halls were mostly dark, and I had to find somebody to help me out and show me where the emergency room was. So when I finally got in 3 hours later to see the doctors, they pumped me full of drugs and put my shoulder back in place, but it took them a little while to do that. But I say thank you for drugs in that scenario. If you're about to go into surgery and they want to cut you up and remove a tumor, let's say, and I say, okay, let's do that, because I do not want to feel the pain. Also, drugs can be used to save people's lives. Like if you're in a gruesome car accident and you're in very much pain, the ambulance gets there and the EMTs put drugs in you and kind of numb you up a little bit so that you don't feel that pain, and they go and fix you up. But that's the only time I feel like people should be using drugs. But of course, I'm not a doctor, and if you ask me to do surgery on you, I won't. But let's look at the physiology of people, and you don't have to be an expert on physiology, but to understand the basics of causes and effects. What do we do to get to where we're at health-wise? Then find a fix for it. Did you know there's a cure for AIDS? But if anybody just think about a drug that has cured anything. Because drugs aren't designed to cure diseases. But many cures are available in nature. Aldous Huxley, philosopher among other things, said, medical science has made such tremendous progress that there is hardly any healthy humans left. I've been learning and studying healthy foods and herbs for quite some time now, for a few years. And I choose not to allow unnatural ingredients into my food and water to the best of my ability. Obviously, it's going to happen. But that's where I'm coming from. You'll also know the past 30 years, school shootings and those people, at least the ones released to the public, it showed that they were seeing psychiatrists who had prescribed them drugs. Tallahassee, Florida, in November 20, 2014, that mass murderer was using hydroxyzine. Columbine, Colorado, one of the accomplices, he was using Luvox. So I ask you, who made the biggest drug lord in the world the authority on drugs?